Hello out there, everybody, and welcome back for season 2 of Please Advise. As you guys probably can tell, I've already had a couple sips of water, so we'll go ahead and jump right into the episode. So glad to be back. Definitely enjoyed my break, but it's time to get back to business. So as you can see, I have a full panel here. I have the lovely ladies of Let's Talk podcast. And then I also have a very lovely gentleman over here to my. Is that my right?
Yeah, that's your right.
I don't know if that's my right. It's to my right. Too much water. I'll let everybody introduce themselves, and then coincidentally, I will start down here to my right.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is San Juan, and I'm an engagement specialist for Williamson Associates Drop-In Center, specializing in sexual wellness, and I'm grateful to be a guest on Let's Talk. Please advise.
That's right. Hey, you know what the real is.
You better say it.
Just kidding.
Hey, I'm Nicole.
Know me, I'm new.
I'm Kentrell Marienda KB. I am also the owner of the Trap House Grub, and I am the creator of Let's Talk Talk Show / podcast. And I'm Shadi Marie. Extra.
All right, so as customary, I like to start every show with first impressions. So we'll go ahead with a round of first impressions. This time I'm gonna start down to my far left with Miss Shandi.
Okay.
She's still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
2 minutes sips of water.
Okay. So we
I
know
like
what.
how he like moved his tongue across his teeth
I
right
mean-
there.
Did that throw you off from your first impression of him? Because that's the question. What is your first impression of him? And you're talking about,
That
okay.
is-
I noticed his like freshly haircut. Like it's like fresh.
I knew I was having company today.
Yeah, you look good.
And you know, I appreciate it. I do
But
it all for you.
impression.
He cool. He held it down to earth. Like he cool.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
My first impression of
Yes.
my first impression, well, he is actually a talker. We call them talkers in my Let's Talk. And I would notice someone will always have like a, what do you call it, going against the, like,
Against the grain.
yeah, he goes against the grain a lot. But when he does it in his humblest way. So
Yeah.
what he says is, in my humble opinion, at the end of everything he says, so it makes you can't get offended. Because I don't care what he said in his humblest opinion.
Correct.
So that's my first impression of you. Like I was just like, that's the right way to do it. You know, say how you feel,
Right.
and then just say, hey, no shade.
Yeah, because I can't speak for everybody. All I can do is speak for myself and in my humblest opinion. So that's all I can offer.
Right. So yeah.
Look at the cat, y'all.
That's funny.
I can't believe.
He got a brownie. That cat got a brownie. Y'all. He got his head up underneath the
I
door
really
talking
can't
about
believe
it.
I really have to.
I-
I gotta. Oh, you gonna move it when I bring the camera up?
Yeah.
Put that finger back.
He heard you.
My first
Good.
impression was,
Yes.
He said yes.
I love first impressions. Like I really do. I love first impressions.
I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I'm a hugger. I was like,
You didn't hug me.
he hugged me.
Right now, guys, get to it.
No, you didn't. I feel some type of way.
As you should, because he hugged me.
I like Sean D. Okay. I'm sorry.
So he was a hugger, so I'm like,
That's 'cause she's
okay.
annoying.
Oh, okay. I'll take
I
that. I'll take
engage.
that.
Okay.
You wanted to know.
I do. I want it all.
I don't even know what to say now.
And she was doing really good.
She was. She has been doing the most talking. So come on.
Okay, so I go. My first
No,
impression,
what?
I don't want to stroke his ego. I don't want to stroke his ego. But was my first impression. I'm joking, but confident. Yeah, confident.
Confidence is always key.
Cocky and confident.
What's the difference?
In my humblest opinion.
What's the difference?
That's right. Say your humblest opinion.
Oh yeah.
She actually was the difference.
Okay, and then your first impression, Nicole.
That's okay.
No,
I
go. I'm
I
sorry.
gave it.
Because he did just give you the code. Well, listen.
No, she tried to say it 3
I gave
different
it.
times.
I gave
She
it.
did say it.
She did say.
Mhm.
He's a
Well, we
hugger.
didn't hear.
She said more than that.
Can you tell me, please?
Can you
I'll
tell us?
tell you later.
Well, this is weird.
No, it's not.
What?
This is free talk.
Because I wanted to know what her first impression was.
I feel like she
What I
should say
got
it again.
is he's a hugger. And he's like,
All right. No more water for us.
No, I'm drinking the water. I'm drinking all my water.
Okay, so a little bit of a background on how I guess we all kind of got together. Again, Kentrell here, she hosts a group on Facebook called Let's Talk. I was invited to the group by San Juan here down on the end. When I joined the group, I noticed that they had a lot of interesting, I guess, conversation topics. I would jump in again with my humblest opinion, but there was one topic that I feel like kind of caught my eye most of all. It kind of sparked a big conversation in the group, and then after, I think, did I inbox you or did you inbox me?
I inboxed you.
Yeah, about possibly
Well, I wrote it
collaborating.
on the post and then
You
inboxed
did write it on the post, and then yes. So and that post was, and I want to read it. Oh, should I knock the thing out? Verbatim.
Text message.
Yeah, here we go. So, the post was a single mother protecting her kid from an innocent dad. Inconsistent. Let me start over. I promise I can read. Y'all know I can read.
You want me to read it? You want me to read
Yeah, please read this, because this water.
A single mother protecting her kid from an inconsistent dad is not bitter.
So,
Exclamation point.
a lot of exclamation points. So again, as you can probably imagine, that sparked a lot of different opinions on both sides of the spectrum. I will, of course, wait till last to share my opinion, but I want to start with Kentrell, since, of course, she is the leader of the group, and she approved the post to post in her group, so I guess she had a pretty strong opinion on it. So we'll start with her, and then we'll go ahead and work around the room.
Yeah, well, I posted the post because I saw it on someone else's page.
Okay.
And when I saw it, I was just like, that's the perfect way of wording it, because stereotypically, because that's putting anything in a group, and what they do is they put females in a group who are not with their baby fathers anymore, or the relationship has ended for whatever reason. They say that us, like if they don't have a relationship with the child, it's us being bitter. And when somebody says something like that, I have 3 children, and I have inconsistent fathers. They go around lying on me, saying that the reason why is because they were with another woman, or because they don't want to be with me, or because we were not seeing eye to eye. They say that I'm bitter because they don't have a relationship. It's you have the same rights as me. You can do whatever you want to do. You decide not to come around. You decide not to do this. You decide not to do that. So I just felt like that's perfect. Just because I'm protecting my child from somebody, and when I say protect, I don't mean keep them away, because I've never kept any of my children away from their dads, period. But they will see, once they get older. I have an 18-year-old, and she has seen that. She's seen the inconsistent father, the incarceration. She's seen that. So, I didn't have to say anything. I've always allowed her to go over there. I've always allowed, even with no financial stability, I allowed her to do that. But now that she's older and in college now, she knows it wasn't my mom. He's been, basically manipulating me to think that my mom is doing something to stare. You were in jail. You didn't do what you were supposed to do.
So was there ever a time where he was not in jail and he wanted to see the kids, and you was like, hey, bruh, you want some other stuff, so no, you can't see them this weekend?
Never.
Never.
The only time, when I say never when he was in the right state of mind. So other things, and I'm not going to get into that. Other things would make me, it wouldn't be because of us not getting along. It would be your reaction to us not getting along. You cannot get along with somebody, but you don't have to do the most, or you don't have to make me uncomfortable with you even coming around, or no, you can't know where I live because I don't know what you might do tomorrow because you're crazy. Seriously. So
you saying that him as a father to his children do not deserve to know where his kids live because of your fear of what he might do to you or to the kids? Like I ask very direct questions for a reason, because I want to understand what your thought process is behind it.
So the reason why I mentioned I'm not gonna be specific is because then I would be giving too much information. So, you know, I think each of us have kind of like common sense. Most people do. It's not really common, but whoever does have it should know that he must have been doing something. It's not just because I'm not with you or you're not with me. And then sometimes, you know, one time a relationship played a toll on it as well. If you don't want to meet the person who I'm with, you don't want to meet them and have a conversation, but you want to know where he lies his head and pays bills and name is on everything. That's not fair either. You know, so it's so many different things. We have siblings, we have grandparents, we can meet on the corner. You don't have to know where they're at because you're inconsistent. You're not going to come if there's a fire anyway. You're not going to come. No, I'm saying, like, what's the reason why you need to know? Seriously, why do you need to know where we reside?
Can I ask how long?
That's my safe haven.
How long did he do in jail? Because there's no way he could be consistent if he's doing time.
Almost. Okay, my daughter is 18, and I would say 13 of those years.
Okay.
Coincidentally, you were in jail when her birthday came up. When it was time for her to see her sing, or when it was time for anything. This is like a wild child where people be like, not wild, wow, like, gosh, she's such a good child. She's this, she's that, and this is what people say about her all the time. So I'm just like, and she says, she cries, like, why does he not want to be with me? You know, I'm a good kid. I do this, I do that, you know, and it hurts. That's why I'm saying it's not bitter. It is not considered bitter because now I'm like, stay away from my child. You know what I'm saying? But I've never kept her away. But I'm just saying, if somebody decides to keep their child away because of the inconsistency, I don't blame them. I have never kept my child away from anybody for no good reason.
For no reason.
No. Okay. Another time it was a whole nother, like a somebody touching somebody situation.
Well,
you know, and you can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the part that's left out when they're saying that I'm bitter. They're not saying
why.
This happened and then we didn't really resolve that. So now what you're saying is she just mad because I don't want her and I got another girlfriend.
Inconsistent fathers never tell the whole truth.
And narcissists either, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But go ahead.
Because, like, I'm looking at it through a different lens. My father was absent. I would have rather had an inconsistent father than a father who's completely absent in my life. And not to contradict the things that you shared about him being in jail, those 13 years, he can't make it up. He was behind bars, and, like, he didn't know his daughter the 5 years in between, because she's 18. So I'm just doing the math on the outside.
No, not for 13 years straight, in and out. Every year, it will just, out the blue, he locked up again. I don't care if it was for a traffic ticket, a toenail falling out, whatever it was, you was locked up in July every damn year almost.
Yeah, not making an excuse for him whatsoever. I'm just saying, like, me, I grew up without my father in my life, and I see my mother struggle, and I yearn for him regardless of the fact. You know what I mean? And even though I never got it, he didn't do time in prison. So it's a totally different feeling that I had felt with him being absent on top of being inconsistent. I would have rather had my dad step up every blue moon or every now and then and just to see his face. I think I could have developed some type of history and knowledge of him than just not knowing a total complete stranger. So
well, let me say this.
I feel different because my dad, he only came around sometime, and I'm still waiting on stuff that he promised me, like a tricycle. And my kids are too old to ride the tricycle now, for real.
No,
and I can remember, like, one thing that he bought me was a jogging suit, and I still hold on to it. Like, he's passed now, but it's just the point that he promised me things that he never gave me, and he's gone and he can't even give it to my children. So I would have rather for him not to even be around promising me things. Like, I would have rather for him to been absent. I promise.
For me, I think I'll jump on your bandwagon. Because, again, I was raised in a home. I didn't, I guess, know my father growing up, but I always had a stepfather in the home. So I always had a father figure. But for me, like you said, I would have rather had him in and out here and there than for my mother to say, because he's inconsistent, I'm not going to let you see him at all. I don't agree with that whole mindset behind it. And I guess maybe it's my own personal feelings. Like I said,
when I say that, I don't mean don't let them, like, if a child, some men get mad when their child don't want to go. It's not, you know, if I don't want to make, what I'm saying is, if I'm protecting them, if my child does not want to go because you are inconsistent, I don't think that it's okay for me to make them go. That's what I'm saying.
But is
like, go anyway. You're uncomfortable. You don't put your child in that situation.
But is there protection, though?
To me, I'm protected because you're uncomfortable. I don't want my child in any uncomfortable situation with my motherfucking mama, with your motherfucking mama, with they daddy,
Right,
with
but-
me.
but
It
that-
don't matter. I don't
but-
want them uncomfortable.
But for me, I feel like there has to come a point to where you like, okay, although there's gonna be some uncomfortableness because
No.
they not in the home every day with you. So obviously there's
No,
gonna be
no, I
some
know people who go see their
I'm
dad
going
and they cool.
I'm going
You
with
know, like, they
until
love
it's
going to their
a
dad's
comfortable
house.
situation.
But who determines that level of uncomfort?
The kid.
Like just because you feel like
kid.
your child might not be uncomfortable going with them, your child may be open to that idea because
once they
that's
say
their
no.
daddy.
Once they say no, I would never
see,
be like, no, you
I
can't
would,
go.
let me share this with you though. Like I remember my father trying to get us, and my mother be like, "Nah, you're not getting them." Right? Like
Right.
she
Yeah,
deprived
see,
him
like,
of that
I mean,
when he
they're not
tried.
with me,
He did
but-
try.
Yeah.
And like I remember getting put on a plane and being forced to go out to see my father, and I'm going to see a total stranger.
Yeah.
Then he's showering us with all these gifts when we're poor, and I'm like, "Oh my God, our daddy's rich," and like that's all we wanted. Then we go back home to our mother on welfare,
Yeah.
and now I hate you and you're a bitch or whatever because we can't get what we want. And I hear how she talks about
How
my
long was she
father.
with your dad?
No, I'm just saying. Say that
It's
again.
over there for some years. You guys bought that quick.
No, I'm saying like he
saying,
did. It was 2 times in my life where I had these interactions to live with him. However,
Okay.
hearing my mother constantly talk bitter things and derogatory things
Yeah.
about him, and then me having his name,
But she did
made
it
me
for you
feel-
to protect you.
that's not protecting me though. Like you made me
Yeah,
feel the
like
same way
I-
you felt about
You
him.
see
So
how
I
you
thought
said
it was
you
everything
had
that she
2.
taught me. I thought she was everything that she said about him is what painted the picture for me to think of my father. I never knew about the times where he was fighting for us in court custody and sending child support. Well, he didn't really send child support either because he beat the system that way, and I found that out later on in life. But there was times where he did try. So sometimes the father isn't inconsistent all the time. Sometimes they do try, and the mother is bitter, not saying you, and she doesn't want that to happen.
So then they
It's
lose.
crazy. I don't do that.
I wouldn't.
I'm not saying you, I'm just talking about my
I've never
instance.
done it as well.
I'm glad I'm a woman because I couldn't deal with a woman. If I was a man with a woman like that was bitter.
They are out there.
But
They
what I'm
are
saying,
out there.
you call the woman bitter.
Yeah, I know.
Like-
I got brothers who got
That is bitter
Kids,
if you don't let
mama.
them see their child.
That's
yeah,
quite
that's,
good.
that's
Yeah,
like
that
that, and
is,
I
yeah.
couldn't deal. I would like give
But
up my rights.
it
If they
depends.
fine.
If they on drugs and stuff, I'm sorry. Like,
I
y'all
feel
can't sit here and
yeah.
just
See,
say
with 'em.
that
No.
it's okay
See,
just because the
with 'em.
motherfucker want to see
I feel
you.
like
No,
there's
let's be
always
real here.
there's
No, I'm not
Sometimes
saying.
you
I'm
put
not
your
talking
child in
about your
certain
situation. Your
No,
situation
I didn't
is
say
different.
mine. I'm
Yeah.
talking about period. It's
Sometimes they be
molestation. It's people be on
protecting the
drugs.
child. Right.
It's
Yeah.
people be selling drugs. People be having guns around the wrong people.
Yeah.
Sipping, all kind of like people be doing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about. I know a whole lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I know a whole lot of people who be going through it with their baby
I already
daddy.
know.
Yeah.
But
You
for-
know, and like
for-
you just let your child.
And if-
It's people's money on your head.
If we gonna
you
be
let your
honest
child
though,
go
if we
with
gonna
them,
be
go.
honest though, we want to be honest. It
Right.
ain't about you said being molested and stuff like that. Drugs, that environment.
Yeah,
Whoever's protecting you and taking care of you. I was molested by one of the closest people in my family, on my mother's side, right? And my mother could have done everything she could to protect me, and she would have never been able to protect me from that because she never seen it coming. She was blindsided. That had nothing to do. And if I would have stayed with my father instead of my mother, I would have never experienced that shit
You don't-
ever. I'm just saying, how do we not know?
It could
though?
have been your other.
How do you know
somebody.
that doesn't?
How do you know
can
what?
we say
Because
that?
if
though?
I'm aware that my child is getting molested somewhere,
I'm
and
saying
I'm the mother.
they're- I didn't say they were aware. I'm
Yeah.
saying
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if you don't know, what you gonna do? You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
I think what he's saying is that by him not being exposed to, I guess, that side of the family,
yeah.
He
Deprived
did-
of that
it-
side,
it
it
probably
deprived me
could
of
have
a
been
different
a-
life I could have
Right.
experienced
That's
without
what he's
having that
saying.
harm
That's
that was
what he's
caused
saying.
then.
like for me, I can't even imagine how my life would have been had I been raised by my biological father. Like I said, I had a mama and then I had a stepfather, and he was great, for all intents and purposes. So when I saw the status that said, whatever it said, it triggered me in a way because I feel like my father may have been inconsistent, and truth be told, he was. But at the same time, I still, whatever couple of moments we had would still outweigh his inconsistency to me. And that's as a male looking for a father figure, looking for a male role model, those types of things. So I think we see it differently because I think for y'all females, y'all thinking of, the nurturing and protecting your child from that. But for us, for me at least, I can't speak for you, but for me at least, I feel like I needed to know, for one, where I came from.
Right.
For one. For two, I needed to know what type of man he was, so that I can A, either emulate how he was, or B, know how not to be.
Right.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? When you only have, I only had one male role model father figure. That was my stepfather. So I saw things that I liked in him, and I think that's where I get my strictness, my directness from. But then there were other things which I won't get into that I didn't like about him. But it would have been nice to have a contrast in my own father to say, now I can understand why I identify more with this type of his personality than that type of personality. And my mother didn't keep me away from my father, so I don't even want to make that an issue, because she didn't.
Yeah,
He was just absent because he was just absent, and that's that. But for me, if I had found out now that my mother had been keeping him away, I would have had a strong fucking issue with her, because how dare you make that decision for me?
Right.
Like, I understand how you feel his actions may not reflect positively on me or whatever. That's fine. You can feel how you want to feel, but that's still my father. I still need to know where I came from. So when I saw the status of, single mothers not letting their kids see them
No,
because
they
they're
said
protecting them.
protecting.
But that's
their
not.
child.
But
you don't know what that means. We're making our own assumption about what her word protection is.
We are assuming.
We are
assuming.
We're definitely doing that.
We
But since we are
definitely
definitely
assuming.
doing it,
Yeah.
we're saying, because we're going to assume that it's just keeping them away. But I'm
Right.
just saying we don't really know.
We don't know.
Just
Now, if he was touching or if he was abusive, of
That's
course.
what I think about when I think about protect.
For me,
That's
I
not what
don't.
they
That's not,
That's not
everybody's
because
not, everybody's not like
when they
that.
made the status, they said that the mother was bitter.
They
So when
did
I
say
think
that.
bitter,
Mhm.
I think that something happened to her,
Mhm.
to where she like, oh, so
let her
since you don't want to be
down.
with me, you don't want to see
So
your
that's what
son.
Shonda,
Right.
Because she says that her, she know a couple people who've been going through something like that. And on the flip side,
Yeah.
the baby mamas towards the males that she know
Yeah,
that they have
and
to go.
that's
through.
real.
So if you can share that.
Yeah. Well, my brothers, they have kids' mother who, when they're with them, everything's all good. But when they're not with them, it's like all negative stuff they saying about them.
Yeah. So in your opinion, does that make the father inconsistent? Because when he's not with the mother,
My question is he being inconsistent? Because when you not with her too, don't not tell what you doing. Or are you still going over there making sure they do this? Or are you still going to do that?
But
Or you
it's
still
hard
putting them on the bus?
to draw that line though, because when you're in a relationship with somebody and y'all get into y'all relationship routine, whenever that is interrupted, of course there are fallouts from that. The kids always suffer,
Right.
regardless. The kids always
Right.
suffer. So what I'm saying is, if me and you are on good terms and I'm walking the kids to the bus stop and I'm fixing dinner at night when you have to work late, yada yada yada, all of a sudden when we get into it, of course those actions are gonna stop. Of course. So does that make me inconsistent because I'm not doing the things that I normally did in a relationship, or are you just mad because I'm not doing those things, so you're not letting me see the sun? That's where the post got me.
So like one person said, an inconsistent father, example, a father that keeps making promises to pick their child up and never showing up. That was her example of what an inconsistent father is to her.
But is that really inconsistent though? Because he consistently not picks the child up. So he's really not inconsistent. He's just a liar.
Right, yeah.
But we don't
I
know.
mean-
We don't really know what's going on.
It's true.
We don't know what's going on.
People make their problems be the problem of the kids. Like, you don't put the kids first. Like, you need to set your problems aside with him or her and focus on the kids. And once you establish that, everything be good.
I'm gonna share this though. When I got old enough to realize that everything that my mother said was a fabricated lie in a sense, and he wasn't this monster that she made me believe he was,
Okay.
I was mad at her for a while. I was pissed at my
Right.
mother for quite some
Majority
time.
of women do be lying on.
My mama ain't never lied on my
They
daddy. He
just
showed us.
Fucking lying
He
because they be.
showed us.
That's what I'm saying. For
She
real.
didn't have to say nothing.
And
We
like
seen
my
it.
daughter, my other daughter, she doesn't want to go around at all. Like recently, he literally saw her
Okay.
We were at a mutual place, and it was for over an hour and a half. I don't know how you didn't see her for that long. Then you came over there and bust out talking. Then you pulled her to the
you,
side.
but not to her.
No, to her.
Okay.
Not to me.
Okay.
Then you pulled her to the side, and she was gone for probably like 35 minutes. I'm like, what's going on? You know, but I don't want to look like I'm being extra. And then you take her to the side, and she come back like, he said that he's sorry that you've been keeping me away, but I know that's not true. Why would you pull a child to the
But
side?
have you been though? Like,
No!
it's just real.
I didn't know I
Have you
could
been,
travel.
though?
She ain't never. No.
I'm not saying you have. I'm just.
I'm telling you how manipulated. You haven't said anything to her for 2 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Okay.
saw her on the mutual street, and then you just bust out talking about in her ear, thinking she's not gonna tell me.
He should have kept
Crying. No.
He
She
could
said
have
that he
kept
was
it.
crying, literal tears.
Maybe he
Manipulation.
felt like
I don't think. I think that
Control ain't never
maybe.
been that type
But
to keep her kids away.
listen. Look, if I had a child and a baby mama and I did not have an address, a phone number, or a way to reach them
No,
like that.
I didn't. Who added that?
I didn't say that. I'm saying I'm just painting this picture of what I see when you say inconsistent and not being in a child's life, and I can't navigate
That's
to get
common
to my
sense. You
child.
can't be consistent if you don't know nothing about it.
Where's
Yeah.
the
You know
effort?
everything but the address.
No, I'm
Everything
saying.
else, you know it. You know
Yeah.
birthday, you know everything.
Well,
For half the shit.
And
else,
you know
I don't see. If he cried though, a grown man crying,
It's
he
manipulation.
could have
It's
felt guilt.
manipulation.
He could have felt guilt, ashamed,
Why
remorse.
you can't tell nobody
It
how to
doesn't
feel
have to be
I don't-
manipulation.
I
It
don't
could be
think-
guilt.
Don't go to no child
He could
saying
feel
no shit
guilt.
like
He
that.
could feel guilt. He's
But
seeing
you're
his.
lying.
He's seeing his own
How
face.
is he lying?
His own
though?
You
soul.
lied and said that I kept you away and you haven't
I'm not
even tried to
talking about that
contact her, and
part.
I've had the
You
same number for
focusing-
17 years.
I'm not focusing on the
That's
lie. I'm talking about what hurt him is seeing his baby, his grown daughter.
Oh my God,
who
he's manipulating you and you ain't
He
even met.
neglected all that time.
I'm lying.
No,
Well,
I'm
it's
saying someone who he
accountability.
neglected all that time, he's feeling terrible about it.
It's,
But he's
That's
making
why.
Where he at
I'm
now
not
after
saying
that
it's not
day?
his
He's
fault.
putting it on her.
Where he at
though.
after that? Was 3
He was
months
wrong
ago.
there.
I
He
don't
was
know
wrong
if
That was
it's
3
there.
months ago. Where's he at now?
I
I
don't
still
know
have the same number.
if he was putting on her though.
He said exact words and was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, your mama won't let."
Well, maybe. Okay, so okay.
Men-
That
some
possibly
men
came out, but I don't know the whole story. What they had a conversation of. And I feel sorry for everything, everyone involved in that situation. I wish it could have been better for real.
Right.
Because like I don't see a grown ass nigga crying like
Yeah, I like
if I
it's
see my
hard for me.
baby.
When you
Yeah,
just when
too much
you
water.
when you just said he would start
You know, that's
crying.
why you drinking water.
When you just
when you
said
were
he started
crying,
crying, they changed it
That's
for
the
me.
manipulation.
Because I can't in my mind.
My daddy used to always cry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
but
maybe
maybe
never cried in
You
front of
still
me.
cry.
Yeah.
you. That just is crazy.
I don't.
He might be a Sagittarius. Is he?
I'm just saying. I'm not.
Or maybe for
I'm
him.
saying y'all listen. He could feel guilty
Yeah, he
and
can.
remorseful and
But I feel
ashamed.
like
That is what I'm
Listen,
saying.
listen.
He
You
feels
said
bad
I-
about what
you
he's
took
done.
her to
I said he
listen.
did.
Hold
He
on.
feels guilty about himself.
Oh no, I'm gonna cut
You
him out.
took her to
We're
skate
gonna cut him
camp.
out.
How do I?
We're gonna say this. Listen, when a mother,
I said I'm gonna call you
I
this
was-
week and it's been 2
no,
years.
let me talk.
What are you
I
talking
have been
about?
trying to reserve myself, and I was not gonna speak,
Okay.
especially not any curse words. But when a motherfucker don't have a care in the world, you cannot keep them from doing anything that they don't want to do.
But
Clearly,
a
Yeah.
career in the
Listen.
world is extreme though.
it's
Like
not. When you are by yourself and you don't have your children and the mother has raised them, you don't have a care in the world. If you
I don't
have
know
a
if
fucking
that's
kid
not a
nagging
career in
them,
the world
it
though.
is. What?
For me. Okay, so again, this is where we share.
For you.
So for me, I have a child that I'm not in the household at all. Like I live over here, I have my partner, and we have our
Do you
own
take care of
household
your child?
to find take care of.
Oh
Do you-
shit.
No. Seriously, this is real.
Do you see your child, spend
Yes.
time with your child,
Yes.
tell your child you love them?
But
talk to
not
your
every
child?
day. Probably
I'm not
not even
saying
every
every
other
day.
day. So
You
I mean,
have
am I
lives.
inconsistent because
Inconsistent.
am I? That's just water. Am I inconsistent because every time she reaches out to me, I communicate back with her. Sometimes I initiate communication. I feel like every time there's an important event in her life, she tells me about it or I inquire about it and I participate. But at the same time, physically me seeing her physical being, I have not seen her probably in a couple of weeks. So does
That's
that
not
make
what
me
I'm saying.
inconsistent?
Well, how old is she though?
17.
See, that's different.
What? Years
The
old?
age, that's his levels.
17
But, I mean,
months
even
or
when she-
17 years.
Years. I mean, even when
If
she
you
was,
trying to come
but
over here and
even
you
when she,
saying no.
Okay, listen.
no, not at all.
Okay, what are you talking about?
But there may have been a time where she may have reached out and be like, hey daddy, can I come over for a few weeks, or can I do this? And I'm like, you know what, listen, the type of lifestyle I lead, I don't know if I want to expose you to that. So I may have, you know, danced around the issue a little bit and kind of, you know, let her give up on
We're
it.
not talking about that. We're talking about a kind of world like you get up every day.
But when you
can
can
do
say
whatever it is
inconsistent,
you want.
but when you say
can go to Africa
inconsistent,
today if
that's
you
all
wanted to.
encompassing though. Like that's for me, it's all about the words. When you use the word inconsistent, that means you are not doing anything on a regular basis. So for me,
A week is not like whole.
it's been weeks, it's been months, at times it's been
But are
several
you
months.
and your daughter good though?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay then.
But I don't
That's
know.
not what
Can
we're
I say
talking
something? Now, I don't mean to keep bringing it back to this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like.
Go ahead.
So this girl says, some people feel mothers should be grateful for whatever dad gives. I don't agree with that. Mothers can't be inconsistent. We have to be present, and fathers need to be held to the same standards in some instances, like financially and time spent. I know men that speak to their child 2 to 3 times a year, mainly for their birthdays and holidays, and I'm touching on
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
Okay, and
That's
if a
my
woman
dad.
was to refuse that time, then she will be called bitter.
Yes, you are
But I think
there.
it's always different.
but-
Have you always been one of them?
But it's not fair to
Yeah.
bounce. Wait a minute, let me finish this. But it's not fair to bounce in and out and only show up for fun things. As a mother, you have to protect your child and not show them that people, dad or not, can pick and choose when they want to be in their life. I felt that.
Okay,
You
I
know,
got this.
I felt
though.
that.
I'm raising my nephew, who's not my son,
Mhm.
as my son. His mother and my brother, his father, would never have parental rights of him, ever. He's never going to hear me talk down to them, ever.
You know,
About their
so
situation,
you shouldn't.
period. Like my mother did me. Like the shit she said about my father. He's never going to have to deal with that kind of stuff. My brother is going to be inconsistent in his life. My brother is incarcerated right now. There's nothing he can do for his son physically if he wanted to. And his mother is struggling with, you know, her issues. And it shows there's good men out there
They're just following
who will raise and take care and step up to the plate and be the man and provider when we got to do what we're supposed to do. And sometimes they don't get that opportunity. Like I said, my mother never allowed my father that because
Right.
divorce happened, and my mother went from the rags to riches part. You know what I'm saying? And all those things were stripped away from her. She got upset, bitter, whatever you want to call it. And my father went and led his life and did what he did, and he was successful and good. And my mother just held on to it. Got my stepfather, right? And that didn't work even. I got 2 brothers from that marriage, and he was just like my father, in and out their lives pretty much for a sense. But it's not always the man. Sometimes like you don't allow him to be in that place too. Like if he stepped up right now, would you allow him to have that relationship today
Yes.
with no problem?
Yes.
Cool. That's all I want to ask.
But this is the problem. You just did that crime bullshit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, I
I
need
don't
to
know
say
if that was
something.
bullshit though. Like I don't like how you just
Would you
What's
please,
like,
totally
just
bullshit?
please listen to these ladies. They
Okay,
know
I'm sorry.
me.
Go ahead.
They know me. I'm not getting ready to. I'm not that one. I'm getting ready. If I'm in a relationship and I fucked up, I'ma say he fucked up, but I'ma say what I could have did better. I'm not that person that's getting ready to be one-sided. I promise you. And I've also been. A lot of people have told me that I take up for people too much. Like when I'm trying to, like for real, I'm
Yeah.
trying to say what the situation is, but I'm still saying, well, I could have did this. I'm down to myself too much. I'm
Okay.
telling you, I wouldn't even do that.
Okay.
People are manipulators, and that's real out here, for real.
That
You
is
take a
100%
child. Why didn't
real.
you say it in front of me? If you wanted to say that I'm keeping her away, be a man and say why I'm right there. You took her across the street for 35 minutes and bust
You
out
wanted to
crying,
plead his case.
talking about.
Right? Because
But why didn't you do it while I was
that
right
wasn't
there?
a
'Cause that's a
conversation
lie.
for
Or
you
you could
though.
have, when she could defend herself and say who's right.
To a
It's-
kid
it's
that
not
you don't
about-
even really know. Come on now.
Bullshit.
I wasn't there. I don't know this
Bullshit
nigga,
is
so I
bullshit.
can't speak to how
I
he was
was
speaking.
lying.
But what I can say is I don't think there was a conversation that he had with his child.
I
where
want to know
he
this.
needed
I
you to
just want to know
defend.
this. Have you ever disrespected him in front of your kids and talked bad about him? Ever? And when I say this, in different increments in time of them growing up from the toddler stage.
Directly to my child,
I'm just being
no. Did
honest.
she overhear me when I was in the bathroom talking to Nicole or something? Maybe yes. And she know him
But never
personally. And
directly
she
to
do
her.
too.
But
Okay,
never
So I
but
wouldn't
then,
even.
that's not what I went through. So then you
See,
you
that's
don't
what I'm
form an
saying.
opinion that way. So that's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But just like this last dude said that it's based on a scenario because he says that that it's inaccurate according to him. The whole statement that we're talking about is inaccurate because it's based on a scenario, and reading that made me think about everybody's scenario right here is different. Like my dad, he was there, he had all this money. Holiday dad though. Now I pump it up on Facebook like he was there so much. Where was like he bought us these big old Easter dresses. Birthday parties, we had clowns, we had horses. I got pictures of that. You know, he had all the money, but when he died, he didn't leave nothing. But you was just coming in and out whenever you felt like it, doing whatever you wanted to do. Now, I thank God for that time because I had none of that. 2 days before I turned 10, he died.
Peep this. The
And
icing,
then left us with nothing.
the icing on the cake with this one though, my father raised my sisters though, which is weird to me and sad. Like he catered to the girls.
Was the girls by a different mother though?
All of them were, yeah, two different
But
mothers.
that's probably why. Like I said, I understand how y'all
But
can
his father catered to the girls, and like the boys would kind of like had that rough life, learn on their own, provide for
Well,
themselves.
maybe that was
He didn't.
hereditary or
Yeah,
you know, kind
but
of.
still, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It made me jealous of my sisters in a sense
Obviously. But what I was saying to before I learned some more about what you were just saying, but what I was gonna say is I think sometimes y'all females like to downplay the relationship with the female versus the relationship with the child. I feel like it is absolutely important that the adults in the relationship get along, so that way the child's relationship with the parent is all the more streamlined. I know y'all say it don't matter if me and this nigga into it or not, he should still care for his kid, but you cannot.
Well, take him over there with you and let
can't-
me come when I want to.
Exactly.
I want to hear what you got to say to that.
No,
No, seriously, let's do that.
That role's reversed.
Take the child over with you.
There is a lot of single fathers
Take the
out there.
child with you.
It's like
And then let me be inconsistent.
But is that really how?
The reality.
Right. Like it's easy to say, okay.
I
well,
wouldn't
then
even
you
say take my child though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Who's
want to
really
be. I'm
saying that?
saying me.
We're not
No, I know
saying
you're
that.
not. I know
It's
you're
just
not
to
saying
make
that,
it-
but
But
I'm
you
saying
can't. But
me.
you can't say.
I would
to
want
make-
to be in my father's or my child's life. I'm not that type of father. Like even. I don't understand it. So obviously there has to be something wrong with the relationship.
You carried that
Something
child for
went
9 months
sour.
and pushed it out. That's
Something
yours.
went sour with the
You're
two
right.
of you.
But see, this is what I'm saying. I made a status the other day and I said, can't nobody tell nobody how to feel about nothing unless they've been through it.
Correct.
You can't tell a black person how to be black. You can't tell a white person how to be white. You can't tell a homosexual. You know, you just, none of it.
Exactly.
You can't do it.
Right.
You don't have any biological children.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I have a
This is my
child now,
opinion.
and my
You do,
biological
but it's not the same thing
mine's
when something come up out of you.
miscarried. I did have it miscarried, but go ahead.
But
You're right.
I'm not saying this to down you or downplay anything you're doing because you're
Yeah.
amazing. You know, you taking care of 2 kids by yourself, a single father like that is like, and you're black. And I'm not saying like, you know what I'm saying, but seriously, that's very rare. But what I'm saying is, when you nutted somebody and they had that baby and that bud come out, it's a whole different kind of feeling than that. You know, like it's just a different type
Is it
of
a
feeling.
whole different feeling because you carried the child for 9 months and went through the whole labor process?
No, I'm saying I'm talking based off men that I've talked to who are stepfathers and who
Okay.
have their own children as well.
Okay.
Speaking like the one, like my ex, I was blessed with him. He takes care of all 3 of my children like his own. He sent money for all of them. If he take one to the movies, all of them going. It's not. There's no. And we've been broke up for almost 2
But I
years.
know women who had kids and don't have none of them. I know women who have 5 different baby daddies, so that doesn't mean nothing. And just because you have a child doesn't make you a mother or a woman either. Because like people, it's a lot of people like me who step up and take the plate for other people who have kids who can't take care of them. So I mean, when looking at it through the lens that I'm seeing, that doesn't matter. Like I would, the type of person that I am, I would want to be in my child's life, regardless of the fact. And what I was trying to say is that something went sour down the line with the 2 adults, and the kids suffered from it.
It's
That's all
always
it is.
so.
But sometimes
It's
it's
always
just
so.
decision making. Let's talk about that because we don't want to just keep blaming.
I'm
not-
Everybody
And I'm
got
not
a
blaming
free
the mother,
will.
but listen
You
though,
do
if
what you
with the statement that you just said, that's just like me saying like if a woman has more than 2 baby daddies, then obviously it's not the men's fault. If you can't keep
Some
the third
people feel like that.
No, I'm just saying
Some
I
people
wouldn't
feel like that.
I wouldn't say that either, but I'm saying sometimes we gotta be
And my
accountable.
people,
Huh?
no. Hell no.
No, I'm just saying we
But if
gotta
I
be
can't tell
accountable.
nobody else they can't.
Right, of course.
And I got 3 baby daddies. 1, 2, 3.
And
And
see,
I can, you know what I'm saying? But how can I feel if you felt like that? What can I
I
do?
wasn't,
You know what I'm
and like I
saying?
said
But-
we can't say that.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this though, see, you made me lose my train of thought. Where I'm going with this is
1, 2,
that
3.
it's something that happened with these relationships that went sour,
Not all
and the kids.
time.
Okay.
It's about who you attract. It's about who you
Relationships
attract.
never end. Relationships never end amicably.
Everything has
Nobody
an
wakes up
expiration
on a
date.
happy Monday morning and say, you know what, partner,
No,
I don't want to
have.
continue this
I have with my kid's father.
because something went wrong.
No, nothing went wrong.
You cannot sit here and tell me that y'all was happy and you just woke
Listen.
up one happy Monday morning
Yes,
and
the
said, you
fuck
know
I
what,
did.
It was
I
a
don't want to be
build
with
up.
you.
It was a build up.
Clearly.
11 years, and I just was like, I just do not want to do this no more.
Because it built up to that point.
No, it was nothing. It was nothing that he did. Nicole just wanted to be Nicole.
Right,
He wasn't
but-
controlling.
Right.
He wasn't.
But still.
There was none, and I just was like.
But still, that's still,
He is
but
not-
even
he's not on my level.
even then,
Just
that's
wasn't
still,
on my
even
level.
then, that still
So
wasn't an
what
amicable
I did
split.
not fucking
Because I'm sure you didn't tell him I don't want to be with you, and he was just like, oh, okay, we not gonna be together. No,
No, no.
no relationships end amicably.
No.
It's always
He's
some
trying to
turmoil.
process.
He just
Always.
was like,
And
Always.
And this is another thing.
No.
If fathers could easily get resources accessible to them, such as Section 8 and welfare, I guarantee
You
you.
can get it.
No, it's not as easy.
yes, it
It's
is.
not.
I filled it out
No,
for
it's
7 years.
not.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's fucking fill out.
I'm
It's
telling
not.
you.
Oh,
I went and filled it out.
I'm
for 7
saying
years.
if you don't have the kids,
You gotta go up there and do it.
If you
Everybody
don't-
gonna do it for you.
first off, listen, the courts always side with the woman anyways.
No,
85% of the time.
Oh,
It's
God.
do the
How
math.
you know?
Because I do this for, I know this for, I know this. 85% of the time the child gets to go to the mother.
No.
It
As they
happens all the
should.
time.
I'm okay with this statistic.
I feel like
they
it should be 50-50.
I don't.
I do.
No.
If you're in the
I
same
don't.
state.
I
I don't know
don't.
why one
I don't.
person. I don't
I
know
don't.
why the woman.
Majority
Why
of
wouldn't
them
the
are.
parent that's doing the best? Why would you want to give the child to someone who's not financially stable, who's not living in a
Majority
comfortable
of them are.
environment? The child should go to where the resources are going to be readily available for them, right? And they're not going to have to go through that struggle. And in my opinion, or to the best fit parent, okay? Because sometimes
That's
somebody's
true.
not mentally
Majority of
stable.
men cannot live 24/7 with a child. They
Say that
cannot.
again?
Majority of men, they cannot live.
I'm not even
24/7
gonna. I'm not
like
even gonna break it
mothers
down to
They
that because I
cannot.
can't speak on that.
They
But
cannot.
me personally, I feel like a child is always best served in the household of the mother, unless she like on drugs or abusive or something like that. But just normal, everyday, average. Yes, I really feel like the child should go with the mother. I will never object to that decision.
Well, let's
because
talk about the good dads who pay child support and everything else, and the mother gets that money and it doesn't go on the kids.
That I feel like
Why do you
again,
feel like
I
he
feel
doesn't
like
want the kids?
I feel like
She
that's
does her hair, her nails,
but that's her
clothes.
household
What
though.
if y'all said?
Hey, I'm not saying. I'm just
Women do.
saying. What about those type of women that do
What
that?
if she's using her debit card to pay for whatever?
Right.
And it's a supplement
Yeah.
whenever she gets a
Yeah.
child.
I don't
I
have an
like
issue
I
with
like
it.
that lens, but I'm saying like if I'm
I like
paying,
that lens.
I'm paying. You know what I'm saying? If
That's
I'm
true,
paying,
though,
If I'm paying,
because I have paid
what's
for
going to my
stuff
kids
For
though?
the kids that he's supposed
I'm trying to see like what part of what I'm paying into this goes to the kids. I know about the electric and the heat and rent.
You
Plus,
talking about the $112 that a motherfucker pay per month?
I ain't talking about that.
But I'm
There's
saying,
people pay really good money.
who? It ain't even that many people who get a lot. And then if they do get a lot, then they fight.
It's not
and then
a
they
lot
get
of
on
people
the phone call
you
and-
know who
But
get
my
a lot.
uncle worked at
Well,
Chrysler. My
people
uncle
who
worked
get
at
a lot.
Chrysler's, and his son's got like
Yeah,
5 something
I
a
guess-
month.
I-
And my
I
aunt,
can't
their
say
mother
that
gave
because
them
I
all
was-
that money.
But I'm
You
just
rarely
saying.
see the mother
I
give the
just
kids
try to
all
give everybody, 'cause I
their
pay
child support.
$802 a month for one child. So.
If
Yeah,
it's
but
for
I
the
got
kids,
on the phone,
if it's for the kids, it should go to them.
I feel like if it comes into the mother's household, she has the right to determine where those funds go. For me, I feel like she is with that child 24/7. She, in my eyes, has the child's best interest in heart. So I don't expect just
A
because
responsible mother, yes.
Just because I pay $1,600 a month doesn't mean that she should spend $1,600 on that specific child.
I
Absolutely
agree.
not. Especially if she has other children in the household. I feel like she manages that household. As long as my child ain't calling me on the weekend and saying, hey, I'm hungry, hey, my shoes got
Right.
holes in them, then hey, your mother is managing that. I don't give a fuck if she buys some ramen noodles and she go get her ass done. Again, I paid my child support. I did my part.
Right.
I'm just breaking it down to the barest minimal. I did my part. So
Give me
as long
some noodles tomorrow.
you know, hey, if that's what y'all eat over there, that's what y'all eat over there. I can't control it because I'm not there.
As long as you did your part.
As long as I did my part.
Like
Now,
I said, if she's responsible, I totally agree.
even if she's not responsible,
If
that's
she's
her
not
household.
responsible,
That's her
then
household.
Well,
I
make
can't.
her
you're
not
right.
responsible.
If my kids look trash and she looks good, that's one thing I can't stand when it comes
I
to
can't
dating
stand when people
women.
say that, but
But I'm sorry for my truth. I'm saying I agree with what you're saying. I can respect that, but if you look way better than your kids all the time, I would never ever give you a chance of the day. Ever.
I don't know if I agree.
I'm
with
just
that.
saying that's how I am. Because that's how you gonna treat my
Define
kids.
way better though.
'Cause that's
are
how you
saying
gonna treat my
because-
kids.
Because the kids are wearing Old Navy and I'm wearing Gucci.
You don't have to wear Gucci.
Or-
My kids ain't gotta be cheap.
looking
Like,
at
I mean,
that,
what-
they be
what-
looking
what-
I'm
fine.
saying
about
when the
way
kids
better
are
though?
Sam, it
neglected.
sound like you're in denial about it.
I'm not.
I want my
Listen
son
to
to have his haircut. I want my daughter hair to be done. I want them
Yeah,
to be
get-
clean.
yeah.
I want them to be like presentable.
Because I want
Right.
to understand. Because
That's
it.
what
Okay, I get what you're saying. There's different levels to it. But
I
what
re- I
I say,
relate to this
they're-
in a
the kids,
way.
hair never done. They got dirty shoes on, shoes untied,
That part.
nose snotty.
You
know,
look
hoes
presentable
all
when
in
your
your
kids
stuff, but
don't.
you looking good. You fired. You fired. Like, come on now.
And I'd be the
Look
type
at
of
that.
father if I was in that
But-
situation.
Brush their hair
I'd
with
have the
some
kids'
grease,
clothes
make
at my
sure
house.
they look
Okay.
right.
So when I
You
pick them
don't
up,
have
I don't
to
need
go
nothing
get
from
them
you.
no
Clean they shit
long
over
weave
there.
and
I
nothing
got
Right,
no
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
Just
Like,
make
what's,
sure they
where,
hair
where
brushed
is
up and
the
look
standard
right.
though?
You
Like,
can go to Walmart. I don't get my kids
I don't know.
Gucci
For-
and
As
for
stuff.
long as
me-
you clean
Yeah.
and presentable.
like I don't,
That
I
part.
don't need children to wear top
Name
name
brands.
brands.
No, yeah, that's-
But if my child support is ordered $3,200 a month, we just giving a random number. We just giving a
Damn.
random.
Let's have a
I don't make that
baby.
much. I don't make that much, so
Let's
you're not
have
gonna
a
get that
fucking
much.
baby.
But
She
if
would have never left your ass.
if that was my child support payment,
She put
as
it
long
in.
as my child is housed, as long as they eat every day and they have clean clothes to wear, then if that only costs you $600 out of that $3,200, the rest is yours. Like for me, as long as I provide my portion that the state says I am required to
Can I ask you
provide,
something? And this is a very personal question.
I don't mind.
Okay, so you are homosexual,
Correct.
but you have a baby.
Correct.
And did you have the baby when you were before everybody knew you were homosexual, or did you?
Before.
Okay, so did you want the baby? Like, no, I mean, like, I'm not saying if you don't love your daughter right now. I'm saying, like, when it first happened,
No.
when she was first conceived.
No.
Okay, so did she have the baby outside of your will? Like, she had the baby
We had a
anyway?
conversation about it. She did not agree in, terminating the pregnancy, so the pregnancy was not terminated.
Okay. So that changes the dynamic to me. And that's just a personal
Not for me,
opinion.
though.
Well, listen, the reason I said it is
Okay.
because I feel like when people agree to certain things, then they should stand up to their side. But, I don't want to say it like
You can
that.
say me.
Like, you didn't want the baby in the first place.
I don't want to say didn't want.
That's why I didn't want to.
The baby is very particular.
Not
It makes
like
it feel
that,
like I
like-
didn't want her.
No, no,
It's
no,
not
no.
that I didn't want you. I didn't want any children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I
Okay.
mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't want any children at all.
Correct.
So it's almost like when, what I've heard from what other people say is when somebody forces the person.
That is forceful.
Like,
To a certain
now that
extent.
they have resentment in their heart and they don't want to do as much that they would have done had they married Patty and had
That's
the 3
true.
children that they had
I
like they
can-
wanted to do. So that's
true.
what I'm saying.
That's true.
Like,
but it is not. That doesn't apply to me.
mhm.
But I can definitely understand that logic and how it would
Because
apply
some
to
people, and I
somebody
know
else.
people personally, they
Yeah.
feel like that. They're like, okay, I told her I didn't want any children. You told me, and I'm like, okay, well, you fucked
Which
up.
brings up my
You
next
fucked
point.
her.
I feel like if the guy says he wants an abortion and you decide to have that baby by yourself, I feel like if he told you that he wanted an abortion and you decided to continue to be pregnant and have the child, you can't really be mad at him for not being
I
Yeah.
there.
don't
Like
agree
that.
with that one.
Because he told you up front.
You should have wrapped it up then, or took a plan B and had that conversation.
But
because
he can't take a plan B.
He can't, but he didn't. He could have wrapped it up. I'm saying now.
Everybody is accountable for what they
Exactly. When that
Everybody
baby's
get how
when
they
that
want.
baby's conceived, that's-
but accountable is different from being able to correct a mistake, though. Like it. Yes, I am accountable because yes, I fucked you raw and I nutted in you. Excuse my language. But at the same time, if after the fact I came back and said, "Hey, I got $300. Let's go ahead and terminate this mistake," and you say, "Hey, it's not a mistake. I want this." You made that decision to move forward without me.
well, I just disagree because if that's the case,
How can you disagree?
because like, bro, that's a baby, and that's not
It's
that's
not
her,
a baby
that's her
yet.
body. Yes, it is.
He's saying you need
That
to
is
step up
her-
as a man, regardless.
I'm
Yeah,
saying-
you made a mistake and nutted in her.
Yeah.
Now she's the woman, so she decides that she's having
And
a
that's
baby.
But that's her
body.
decision.
But you fucked her.
That's not our decision. My decision
baby
was to give
came out
you
of
this
you
$300.
But that wasn't
Yeah,
the point
but
when
yeah.
you didn't know it though. So like, listen, this is what
You
the reason
should've
why.
used
This is the
$3
reason
and got a
why.
fucking
It's
rubber.
because that is her body.
But we both made the decision.
That's her
to
body.
fuck
And you
without
don't have
her.
control.
dynamic
You don't have control
after
to
that.
make that
But see,
decision
you know,
for her.
like logically, the baby is in her, so she can make the ultimate decision. which I
Correct.
don't agree with.
So
think
I
they should
shouldn't
both
be
go
held
together.
because she wants to make that decision, especially if I come to you with means to avoid this.
I disagree because
So you just trapped me.
no, I didn't. I didn't trap
No,
you.
Yeah, you
you
did.
trapped
I
your,
didn't
you
trap
trapped
you.
your.
No, because we both made the decision to fuck without a condom.
What you think?
I feel like
I
I
can't.
don't feel like it's a trap. I feel like
I
How-
can't make. I
you
can't.
gotta
That's a woman's
accept
body.
it
I
for what
can't
it
even
is.
make
At the
that
point
decision.
that I come to you and say, "Hey, I understand what we did. We fucked. You got pregnant. Okay, but I am not prepared to have a child. I don't want to have a child, whether it's with you or with anybody else. But, however, I do have the means to stop us from having a child together.
Okay.
I feel like I'm offering you a free pass. And whether you see
It's
it or
an
not,
alternative.
it's a free pass. I'm offering you a free pass.
Because
If
y'all
you
can just do what the fuck y'all want to do.
no, it's not about doing because
It is.
no, because I'm taking accountability. I did fuck you raw,
But
and I
you're
did
not.
none
You're
of
not.
you.
taking
I
accountability. If I. But what
Are
if
you
she's
pro-life?
pro-life?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my point.
Same.
I don't think it's an issue of
It-
pro-life or not
But
pro-life.
you can't think for another person.
I'm not thinking for you. I'm telling you my
That's you though, bro.
right. If we are adults, we should be able to talk about our differences of opinion. I feel like I'm not ready for a child. You feel like
Now, if
you
she was
wanna
on
have a
birth
child.
control and you didn't know this, then that's a totally
This
different
is his
conversation.
stance on it. That
No, I
don't mean
know.
she gotta agree.
Right.
But it's
Right,
his
this is
stance.
my stance. I don't want to have children. I'm giving you away so that you won't have the child of mine. And if you decide that you don't want to do that, then you've trapped me by default.
I
That
don't feel like
might be.
it's
That
a
might be
trap,
why.
though.
That
I
might
feel like
be
that's
why.
just her decision. And you took your stance, and she got to deal with whatever the consequences.
Right,
is.
but at the same time, if she don't want to, if I come to you and say, listen, I'm a deadbeat dad. I'm not gonna be in this child's life. I'm not gonna do none of that shit. But take this $700 and go handle that. If she decides not to,
It's
she
your
has
baby,
the.
bitch.
It is my baby. Yes.
No, her. It's yours.
They
It's
love
one
that daddies. They gonna want
take
another
care of
baby.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I
So
shouldn't
what
be
about
held
the mental-
accountable for that.
Okay, but think about it. Okay, I understand your point. Okay, you make a valid point.
Especially-
However, we have to look at the woman. When you have an abortion, from what I understand,
What?
it is mental after that. People have dreams about that. Some people are not. Some people good with it.
I'm
You
not
know,
denying
like I
that.
just had a girl say. She had a miscarriage and the girl was like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "Bitch, I'm good." Shit, I was gonna go.
And
get
some
but some
don't.
people like
Yeah.
they're mentally like.
But
they
at the
can't-
same
so
time,
you
that
have to-
comes to the beforehand. When you feel my motherfucking raw meat going in, you should be like, hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, if we being accountable, then we have to be accountable on the entire end of the
That's
spectrum.
true, though.
But
If you
that's-
let a
I
nigga,
mean,
if you let a nigga nut in you, you know that there's a chance you might get pregnant. So, which means that you know there's a chance that this nigga might be a deadbeat dad.
Right.
So if he comes to
Especially
you.
if he didn't. He said he didn't
I
have
agree.
kids.
So if he comes to you and says, I don't want to have kids, here is the money to.
You should have said that first.
Why do I have to say that first?
I'm gonna, if I was a woman,
Why do I have to say that first?
if I was a woman, so listen,
But-
let me ask you this: you're the one that's pregnant, okay? Just think about this really good though.
Okay.
For real. Think like if you were the mother and that baby was inside of you.
If you want to
And
have
I came up to you and
Okay,
was like,
so
here's
when you say-
$700.
when I
I don't
think-
want to have this baby.
That's messed up.
Get rid of it. Okay?
That's
You-
my choice to make at that time.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if I'm telling you what to do with this money to abort my baby because I didn't want to be in this life and I did not want to be a baby daddy, blah, blah, blah. Do you really think that you would do that with that $700 and get an abortion?
I'm not saying what I would.
That's what I'm saying.
I do not have the capabilities to
That's the
carry a
reason.
child in my womb.
I'm saying,
So
but-
I can't say what I would or would not do. But what I can say is that me as a man thinking logically, if a motherfucker came to me and said they don't want to be a dad, they don't want to have a baby with me, get rid of that.
Don't expect it.
At that point right then and there, I can't look for them in the future. I can't. Because they already told me right then and there that they out.
Right.
When the child is 4 or 5 and he not coming to see them, I can't be mad at the nigga because he told me when you was some weeks old that he wasn't fucking with you. Like I can't be mad.
And there's a
Well,
lot of kids
I-
that have been
I
born
agree
like
with
that
you
and
until
they're
you
good.
say that, because if you didn't want to have a baby, then you should have said that before you shot up the club.
You
If you
can't
know
say
you don't want to
that.
have a
People be
baby,
in the
pull the fuck
moment.
out.
Right, you can't
If
say
you know you don't
that.
want to have a baby, you pull the fuck out. You move around.
Not
You
everybody.
No.
You
That's
should.
not, that's not what gets you pregnant.
They
It's the
don't try. They
pre-cum.
get a plan
Oh my
B.
God.
It's that
But,
pre-cum.
right, exactly. Like
I said that. I
or,
said the
or
plan B.
like I said, if you talk about accountability, you have to talk about accountability on both sides. The male is being accountable by saying, "Hey, I know I nutted in you, and I
If
know
you
it might
don't
be a
wanna have
baby
a
in there,
baby, then you
but
should
take this
flat out
money
wear a
and
condom."
get you.
Not everybody
No,
wear
why the
condoms.
fuck should I have to wear a
If
condom?
he says fucking pre-cum, then
What?
you should fucking wear a condom if you know you don't want to fucking have a fucking baby.
No.
But chances are
But
you
the
can have a
reality
baby.
is, people don't always wear condoms.
But if you don't want to have
That's
a
why
baby,
you gotta
then
dance to the beat of the
prepare yourself
motherfucking
so
music.
you don't have a fucking
That's all
baby.
you gotta do.
Or
gotta
if you
dance to
don't
the
want,
beat.
if you don't want a baby by a nigga that's
You gonna leave a bitch stranded fucking wearing a condom. What the fuck? Don't rock out with
But
your
you might not. But you
Fucking
might.
put a condom
But you
on.
might not though. You might not though.
The
Like
hell?
I might
Hey.
meet you and I might bust in you and
Okay.
I might feel
I
like
would've
I
raised-
want you to be my baby
So
mama.
great, take care of your motherfucking baby.
Right, but if I come to you and tell you, hey, I ain't on it,
Well, you should have wore condoms.
well then that's why you're gonna be a single mother.
Hey, I would have been the bitch raising the baby by my goddamn self.
And that's why they be bitter. That's why they bitter.
That's why bitches
But
are bitter.
but again, you can't just put that all on him because he didn't wear a condom. Again, you let him nut in you. You continue to carry this baby.
We gonna
to
have that
term.
ugly ass baby.
Yeah, like you can't be mad at me. I told
Yes, the
you.
fuck, because you can control it. You pull the fuck out. You don't fucking just nut in nobody.
It's more to it than that. That
It's
pre-cum,
not
that
fucking
first, that pre-cum.
Whatever the fuck it is, if you know the pre-cum.
But okay, so are you saying are you
Exactly.
saying as a female, every nigga that you fuck raw, you okay with him being your baby daddy? I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying by your logic, you are saying
you have
every
to if you don't wear a condom.
every female that let a nigga nut in her, she's okay with that guy being her
You
baby
have
daddy.
to if you don't wear a condom. Because you know what come out of fucking. Babies come from fucking. They don't
Babies
come
do.
from storks.
Correct.
They don't come, they
Correct.
come from storks.
The birds and the
But you know what?
bees.
I'm glad for you to admit that because, like I said, you have to have accountability on both ends.
Fuck the fuck out.
You taking it on both
You doing
ends.
grown people things.
Yeah,
Why he go against me and I said the same shit though?
I didn't know that.
I said the same exact thing.
And her delivery may have been different. We're gonna
Because it's from a
consider
woman's
that.
perspective,
No,
I
it's
guess.
not
I
what
don't
you
know.
say. It's how you say it.
What you
But
trying
the
to
fuck-
say
I
about
swear I said the same
Did
thing.
you say the same
I swear,
shit?
that's all I've been saying.
I say
When you
wrap
edit
it up.
this,
If
you'll
you
see
don't
it.
want to have a baby, wrap that shit up.
When you
Bitches
edit the
ain't
video,
dealing
you'll
with no
see.
fucking
People be in the moment. They don't be thinking about that.
Man, you better.
They
If
be
you don't
thinking
want to have a
about the
baby,
Right, that's where the $700 come along later
don't
on.
want-
Like, hey, we was in a moment, but I really didn't.
it costs
Don't.
$700 because you keep saying.
I just that's
That
a
baby
random.
was about
That's a
her
random.
hair, arms, and legs. That's probably
That's-
That was that third trimester. That was that third
He did it
trimester.
twice. That first one was 300. He said.
That was that third
He said the
trimester.
bride, that motherfucker had to go out to Nebraska.
That motherfucker's
It went from the plan B to the 300 to the 7.
I'm just throwing a random number.
No, that ain't
700?
Seven?
That baby was a baby.
That's not a baby. That's a
what
person.
hell yeah.
That little nigga had
The
legs
hair,
and
535 is
hands.
up to about 13 weeks.
You could have a fucking
I
gender
heard.
reveal. You could have had a gender reveal.
But yeah,
No.
for real.
No, but I that was just a random. I don't know, 700. I don't know, but that's just a random. But no, I have never paid for an abortion. But what I'm saying is, if it were me, if it were me, and I had unprotected sex and I was pregnant, and a motherfucker came to me and said, "Hey, I'm not on this whole Diddy thing, but if you want this money to terminate this pregnancy, we can make that happen."
Otherwise, I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah, because that's basically what they're saying. So, in my eyes, at that point, yes, as a mother carrying somebody in my stomach, I have to make that decision. Am I gonna go ahead and terminate this pregnancy, or am I gonna raise this child as a single parent? That's the only decisions you're making right then and there.
I'm just grateful my mama didn't abort me. And I'm just serious though. I'm raising mine.
I mean, I don't know if my parents even discussed abortion, so I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like the type of nigga I am. I feel like my daddy would have been like, "Hey, Regina."
Well, me.
That's what my dad says he is. My dad tells my grandma
I would not be a bitter baby mama. I'm
pro-life. I would have never gotten rid of my baby.
I would not be a bitter baby mama.
I cried when we miscarried, like a fucking baby. I was so hurt.
I be wondering about that. The men that feel some type of way when the woman miscarried.
Because I struggled. And that's what I wanted, to feel complete. And like when we got pregnant, I was so happy. And then like when she miscarried, I fucking lost it. Yep. And it's like God blessed me. 18 years later, now I got my nephew.
Either it is or that.
And he's spoiled.
I get it.
People only pay attention to bad, they don't pay attention to
I probably should have.
Yeah,
They come in different forms.
I'm gonna adopt another one. I'm gonna get an infant since I'm certified now, and see how I can handle that. But I gotta finish getting the ropes of this terrible 2 stage because this nigga's driving me nuts sometimes. And it's hard. I don't even get out. This is the first time I've been out in a long time for this long by myself. So I feel sorry. I don't feel sorry. I respect single parents now. I understand exactly what you go through.
So what if his parents only wanted to see him on his birthdays or on Christmas or special occasions like that? I have this is a 2-part question.
Mm-hmm.
For one, would you consider that inconsistent?
No, because I'm his daddy. That's just a benefit.
And for 2,
that's a bonus.
For 2, would you limit their exposure because of that?
Never. I'm never going to deprive them of being in his life at any time. And he will always have that choice when he's older if he wants to have that relationship with them. That's why I said I'll never disrespect them or talk down on them. And we video chat now, so.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm. My mother never did. She never talked bad about my daddy. She never did. Like I said, I had a stepfather, so I always had a male role model. But even when we talked about my biological father, I can't think of any time. I mean, she did tell me what led to their split up, but she never down talked.
Man, my mama told me everything. She told me every dark, deep secret about him and everything. She threw his ass off the train.
Your situation, you have a unique situation.
Well, see, me, I used to do that about my kid's father, and one day I was like, I'm not gonna do that in front of my kids. They'll be able to see on their own. It was a Drake song when he was like, he waited on his dad and he didn't show up. Like the lessons that he had to grow up.
Right.
And it was that song that made me be like, don't do that.
Yeah, because they have to see for themselves.
Yeah, so I stopped talking about them, and then when my kids got older, my daughter used to be like, when I first left them, she was like, "Where my daddy is? He at school?" And I'm like, "Baby, it's 9 o'clock. School let out." I'm like, "We just, and I had to explain that to her, but then she thought I was the bad person because he wasn't there, and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, people just outgrow people and things.
Yeah.
I always told my kids that, but they sing for themselves. They sing for themselves that Nicole wasn't the bad person.
I feel bad though. As I think back, because I didn't push down. As I think back, I do feel bad though. I can as I hear y'all talk about certain conversations that y'all have had with y'all kids, about So it makes me think like what conversations did my daughter and her mama have. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel bad. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't feel bad because I live with no regrets, but I do regret not being probably more active. Because I mean, there were times that I could have been more active than I was.
Did your sexuality make you feel like? Do you think that maybe that had anything to do with it? Was
Definitely.
Okay, so
No,
that's,
I'm not. No.
No, and there's not. I'm not saying
I'm not
put a
saying-
jacket on nothing. I'm
Okay.
just saying it's the truth. Stuff happens and people feel that way.
And not because
But I'm saying-
I didn't want to
Expose.
project that on her.
Yeah, that's
You know
what I'm saying.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
So
I'm not saying
I
nothing different.
and right, like I said, I lived life with no regrets. I did what I did, and I said what I said.
Right.
But at the same time, sometimes I do wish that I may have considered how it would have affected her. Sometimes I don't consider
You know what's
myself
funny?
a deadbeat dad, but I was inconsistent. I definitely was.
With me being a gay black male, I won't have another guy around my nephew either. Like I don't want him to see that right now. He's 2. I'll wait till like he's a teenager perhaps, but right now it's like I protect our space. I don't do anything
think-
like that
yeah.
because I look at it the way you do, and I feel, and it's sad because like me seeing straight people around me my whole life didn't make me straight. You know what I'm saying? Me watching straight
Right.
heterosexual
Yeah, but
movies
I'm
and
sorry to
shows,
say.
and gay doesn't rub off on you like that. Like if
But at the same time,
Well, it can.
It cannot.
I don't think so.
I
I'm just going
if
by
you're
people
not
who are
gay, I
toxic.
mean, if it's
I
not
have
a
had
hit
2
dog bark,
girlfriends,
if
and I
you
have
have to
little
be.
children around that. My kids are not gay. I have 4 children.
It's
None of my
different with
children
women,
are gay. It doesn't matter. Gay is gay.
Everybody
Like,
always thinks that like
around
blacks are being
gay do
feminized
not
by the
rub
industry
off
and
on
rap
you.
and things of that
It's
nature.
not a disease.
And
We were
it's not.
talking
It's not
about
like
this.
you can catch it like that.
No,
Like,
it's not
serious.
about
a
that.
disease.
It's
Because
not
if
about
that's
that.
the case, I mean, but
It's a choice.
yeah.
Well, still, and,
It's
and
not
you
a
all,
choice.
and I hope you
It's
all
not
don't
a
take
choice.
this personally.
It's not a choice.
But we were talking about this in
It's
the
not a
talking.
choice.
We were talking about the
It's
word.
It's not a
It's like
choice
I
to be
woke up
gay.
one day
It's
and
a
was like, "Ooh, I
choice
want
to
a
be
dick in my mouth."
openly gay.
What? It
What
is
did
a
you
choice.
say?
It's not like I woke up one day and was like,
So
"Ooh, I
that's
want
how
a
you
dick in my
feel,
mouth."
right? That's what you want to be.
If
right?
it's a choice, that
No, no,
means
no, no,
everybody
no,
who's
no.
straight chooses, "I want to be straight every day."
That's natural.
that's a choice.
It's not a.
That is natural.
I'm saying it's natural for
stop,
me
Stop. Listen.
to be who I am,
Because
like-
I feel like this gonna go sideways.
Go ahead.
People have natural sexual urges, correct?
Right.
Whether a female has the urge to be with a man or a man has an urge to be with a female, yes, that is a natural urge. If me having a natural urge to be with another man is not an unnatural urge. It's not a choice of mine. Who chooses?
Thank you.
Who chooses this lifestyle? Who chooses to be ostracized and ridiculed by everyday society
That part.
because of how they live their life? And I don't mean to say it like that to y'all, but I just want y'all to understand. The only choice we make in this lifestyle is to live our truth. We don't choose who we're attracted to.
That part.
We don't choose what turns us on.
But you choose how
You
you
do.
act on it. And just like
You do choose
me
who
not
you
being
attracted
married,
to.
fucking is wrong.
No.
You have a type of who you're attracted to.
Yes, you have a
You don't-
preference.
You
yes,
don't have. You
but
don't choose your orientation.
You don't choose
or who
that.
you're.
You don't. Listen. For me.
I agree.
All through high school. All through
So that
high
means
school.
that your nigga, you wake up next to you, and he could be like, "Damn, I don't want a pussy that I'm gonna run up in this nigga booty."
Because he
It's
chooses.
he
a
choose-
choice.
So every day he has a choice when he wakes up.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
feeling
not
too,
true.
though.
No, that's a choice of acting on it, but he feel the way he feel.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because you
I
choose
agree.
to act that way, and you choose
Right,
to
and that's
feel
what I
that
just
way.
that's what I just said.
I don't
You-
choose.
No. You don't choose to feel anything.
No.
But your feelings
Well, I
is
don't
your
think the
feelings.
feelings are choice, but I think
It's
it's the
a
actions
choice.
behind
No,
it.
your
Yes.
feelings is how you feel.
And so-
You
If
can't
that's the
control
case,
how
I
you
would
feel.
really want to be a heterosexual
Clearly,
male
who
and
the
be
fuck
with my black queen.
Who wouldn't choose to be
I would
straight?
want that. I'd want that.
You
But if
are
I'm not
exactly
gonna
gay,
be,
but
I can't. I can't.
You like who
And I'm
would
living
choose
in my
to be
truth.
gay?
I don't wanna hurt nobody.
So y'all
Who
say
chooses
that-
to be the
It's a
outsider?
whole topic, but that seems like
A
y'all
lot of
making it
people
seem
do.
like it's a disease then.
No, it's
No,
not.
how?
It's not a
Yes.
disease.
If you say it's not a choice is something that you make.
No, a
that
choice
you
is
wanna
what you
do.
act
I do choose. I choose.
So all these straight
I
niggas
choose-
that is out there right now, y'all wake up every day and choose if
I
you want
choose.
some pussy or a dick.
I
right?
choose to
I'm
live
That's
my
bullshit.
life as an open gay male. that is what I choose.
Right.
Right.
Right, 'cause
But
tomorrow
You don't choose your attraction.
Tomorrow, if you want to
But-
have sex with females,
but my
someone can,
sexual preference is not my choice. I was born liking men. Ever since I can remember having a sexual urge, it's always been towards males. Now I may have only acted on females because that's
Okay,
what
we
I
gotta
felt
read more.
would
Society.
be accepted. Right. But that's not what I chose. That's what I did because I felt like that's what I had to do to fit in, to be accepted, to excel in life. But I've always been attracted to males, and I always
I was always
Oh
attracted to
my
the cutest
God.
boy and the cutest girl ever since I was in
Because
fucking
that's what you wanted
elementary.
to do.
I didn't know then. I didn't know.
But that's
But
what
it's
you
different.
like.
You don't
That's
like
what you like.
You don't. You're bisexual and you're not, right?
correct.
So that's why he have his choice and he has his choice.
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice. I'm just attracted. And to be technically correct, I'm a homosexual. But if I'm with a woman and I'm comfortable with her, I can have sex with her. But I would have to have another guy with me. I'm poly if it comes to being with a woman.
But if you just
Probably.
want to
Because I
make,
won't perform to my best if it's just me and her, unless I'm super duper comfortable.
but you with a man, you would be super duper.
Let's do this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But you so damn fine. I don't know. I'm second guessing myself. I work in
Sean D
the
make you gotta
universe,
think
baby.
like, wait.
I swear to God, she's so goddamn cold.
But-
And this one right here,
But no, but
and the
but
girl
sis,
with the
I think,
cookies. You want to talk
again,
about
the
your
only-
cookies?
The only choice that
Can we talk
I
about your
make
cookies?
is to live my life openly. Other than that, it's
I
not a
appreciate
choice.
you guys. I don't like them DLs.
I don't like the
Who would
DMs.
choose that though? Like
It's-
for
Choose the
real.
life you
Hey,
wanna
I
live.
love
It's a
them.
choice.
You
I
like-
choose
you
to
love
live my life
Yeah.
openly. I don't
I
choose
love-
the life I want to
I
live.
don't.
Not the DLs. I just
Changing
love
the
the
words,
straight
but when you
niggas.
change
I
the word
like-
around,
I like
they
hard
say
ass
If they
niggas.
true, be
different
you.
things.
I like hard ass niggas.
Yes,
though.
I like people that be
choose to
them.
live
Be
my
That's
you.
life
exactly what I
openly.
am.
Don't fucking
Correct.
lie.
But I
Exactly.
did not choose to be
But
attracted
DL got a bad name to it. It's like the DL you talking about ain't what I'm meaning.
So you
I like
saying
real
that God
niggas.
or whomever created
And
you.
you
like
never know what's gay now.
They had
Like it's
to.
2020. You don't know
They
what's
had
gay
to.
no more. Because gay ain't feminine.
They
Gay's
had to.
masculine as fuck.
That's
They just
fine,
say,
but
I'ma make
if
this
I
one
ask you,
Not just
straight
me.
forward, direct,
No.
do you
Yes,
like
just you.
women?
Well, okay,
You like
yes.
men?
I like both.
I'll make her straight.
See, I appreciate your honesty, but somebody who just, I don't like somebody who is gay
I don't
and be
think
down
that's
on
like
another
that,
gay
but that's
person
not
because they not out yet.
Yeah.
I don't like
They don't
that.
make him bisexual. So they just chose all life choices.
They made him
for
gay.
us.
He just likes girls also.
I would like a girl if I was with a guy. Like,
Correct.
it's
Again,
just a
they made him
thing.
gay.
It's like it's something that I'm attracted to. I like bisexual porn, and I want to perform that way with a guy and a woman. But I haven't met that woman yet that's open-minded to where she would be like, "Fuck it, I'm down for both."
I
of
heard
you."
it's a lot of women.
It's
that
a
There is.
lot.
I haven't met them. I haven't met her. And that's what I'm seeking. And then if we do that, it'll be like a little poly relationship. And then
But I don't know if that would.
She gonna have 2 baby daddies.
I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit off topic,
Yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
I don't know if I wasn't gonna stop the topic. I was just gonna say I don't know if this true poly relationship though, because your sexual attraction or interaction with her is solely dependent on him being there.
That's poly, a triad. In a sense, first off, he can be with her any given moment they want to be down,
Okay.
right? But if I'm joining
I'm
with
talking about for
them,
you though.
I will be with him when I want to be with him, whenever. But with her too, that's what I want. There's people who are down for
So
that.
you can be with her without him.
That I never said that. I said I would have to have.
Right.
That's
So
what
that-
poly is.
But can you
No.
be down with her without?
I might be. I mean, if that whippersnapper
No,
fire like
because
that
it said
and pulls
that
me
a male
back.
has to be present.
Listen, if she got it like that and the whippersnapper fire, we can kick
What's the
this nigga out.
whippersnapper? Like, you gotta break it down.
Well, for
What's
me,
the
If the pussy fire like that,
For me,
If
it
the
can't
pussy
even get to
fire,
that point. I won't even.
if she turned me out like
What make
that,
a pussy fire?
I don't know. I mean, if she puts it down on me,
I wouldn't.
if she puts it down on me, maybe the universe just like guides me to
Yes,
that one
universe.
with that right vibe,
Oh my
and,
God.
and the right vibration. Like,
No.
But like, I want to know from you, what makes a pussy fire?
I don't know. You want to see if you got it?
Oh. Oh.
You got it?
I've heard.
I bet.
But like from your perspective, what's a pussy fire?
You know what?
Makes a
What
pussy
in
It
fire.
ain't just that. Let me back up some. It's more than that. It's the chemistry. If I'm comfortable with her, if I can be open and honest with her, and she make me feel safe and respect me, and like is gentle with me, takes her time, of course licks my nipple and sucking that motherfucker right. Boom, I'm off. Let's do it. I'm down for that. I just gotta build a healthy relationship with a woman that takes her time with me to get me out of my head to where I'm not insecure and uncomfortable and beat myself up like with the stigma of the world and oppressions. I guarantee you that I feel safety with her and I'll put it down.
But you're not talking about the physical part of the pussy fire. Like
I'm not even talking about the pussy part. I'm talking about getting comfortable with her enough to where I feel secure with myself and my
She's asking
manhood.
about
Let's
the
know what
pussy.
she
like
asked.
what makes
She
a
did
pussy
ask
fire?
Well,
very
okay,
specifically
it's just
about
like some
pussy.
good ass.
Like okay,
It's just like some good ass
break
dick.
it down. Like I want it raw. What makes a pussy fire?
I'm gonna have to find out then. I can't answer that question. I ain't had it in a long time.
How long it's been?
Shit, I came out in 2007.
That's a long time.
Long ass time.
Yeah.
So
And
you
back
ain't had
then I
that
was
since
high.
2007?
Back then I was high and drunk. I never had sex sober.
So
you don't
ain't
even
had,
know
so you
what
ain't had
I
no
don't.
twat.
Pussy
You haven't
is.
had any twat since 2007.
2007
I feel
was
like
the
you're
last
not
time.
bisexual. I'm just that's how I
Can't be
feel.
if you ain't had coochie in 2000.
It's
White guy.
fine. I said I just told y'all, but I'm attracted to women. A
Yeah.
woman's
Maybe
beauty.
you want to be
Attraction is totally
No, it's
different.
not. Like I'm telling you right now, there's certain
Like,
You
women.
gotta have a dude right there when you
No, I
with
don't
her.
have. Like I said,
Because you closing your eyes
That's
thinking
so
about
good.
him.
So
no,
You
no.
gay.
I didn't say. I
so
said if
That's
a
why you
woman.
don't like women. You
I
just
do
think
too.
you're pretty.
I
It's
promise
okay.
you.
Just
I
think
said
we're
there's
cute.
certain women who
It's
I've
like
been across.
trophies. It's like a trophy.
It's not a trophy for
I
me.
don't know
Like
if
a
it's.
trophy.
Sometimes the
It
gay
gotta
dude's a
be.
trophy to the bag hags. We're the trophy. But if the right woman makes me feel comfortable, I'm there.
But you said you haven't since 2007.
Nah, because
Haven't
because in
seen
my
one
head
that
I don't want to
makes you
be.
feel comfortable.
I don't want to go there with a woman and then I'm gay and they know this and then they talk all this stuff or they're
let's-
uncomfortable with it.
Let's
That's
go back
why.
to 2007. How was her pussy?
I was high.
Oh!
It was what?
I was high and it was good.
It was good. What made it good though?
I don't remember I was high and it was good. Just that's all I got to
It
say.
made you nut.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what made it good.
You know
Did
what?
you
Was
close
it-
your eyes and think about anything
Man,
else?
I ate it. I picked her ass up. We fucked like how y'all get fucked, but it was good.
Was it meaty?
Well,
Was
we
it
been asking
wet?
you
It was
that.
wet.
What is meaty?
What you
Meaty is like some people
Fat
coochies be
coochie.
like
Fat
open and not.
I am a sponge right now.
He said I'm a sponge right
No,
now.
it's time for you to answer
But
the
for
question
real,
about
for real,
pussy.
but for real,
What makes a
I was
fire?
high.
They be wet.
I was
Some
high. That
people's
was the way I
coochies be like
performed.
open and you just like fucking into air.
Nah,
And some people's coochies be meaty and wet. Like mine.
What?
Just like mine.
What happened?
And wet.
Yeah.
You heard her? She got me
Medium,
blushing.
medium.
Meaty, like you can feel the meat in
Like
there.
it's heavy.
You can
So
feel
it's-
you can feel
It's not
all
ran.
the
It's not ran
tissue
through.
and all
Oh,
that.
you're
Oh,
using.
so you mean like the
She-
walls
oh,
were
you see,
intact?
Yeah.
She's using county words, and I'm not ran through. Is what?
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
say.
She's talking about them
Not
motherfucking
a
walls
runner.
being beat up a notch.
She's saying she
talking about
has
meaty.
walls.
Tim.
That's what her medium
I have to
is.
go get my son something all those things.
I'm just speaking on what I've heard.
Okay. Her medium is another
Listen.
track star.
I don't know what the track story is. That's these new 2000
What is that?
millennium
You know what
terms.
that
I don't
is?
know.
A track star is a runner. She been ran through.
For real?
Okay.
But I
Okay,
don't
so
really know.
to
Self-explanatory.
pull
Oh,
us
tracks.
back,
You know what? Bye.
to pull us back.
Inconsistent father.
Okay, so yes, because clearly that's where we were.
We were so
Inconsistent
inconsistent on this
Inconsistent
conversation.
father.
Okay, so
Runners and track
I want to
stars.
go ahead.
But we did talk about inconsistent father.
We definitely did have a in-depth conversation about it. We all had our own opinions and outlooks on the situation.
Hollering, I love it.
So now I want to go ahead and take around and do final thoughts. I will start with Mr. San Juan down to my far right.
Final thoughts is I don't believe everybody's an inconsistent father. I believe that sometimes situations happen that make people distance themselves, and a lot of the times it's between the parents and the kids suffer. And A valuable lesson that you can learn from this conversation is that you should never disrespect either parent in front of the child, and let them make an informed decision when they're old enough and decide on if they want to have that relationship, because in the end it can scar you and the relationship that you had, and you've raised them your entire life and they don't want to have anything to do with you because of what you planted in their head. So try to make it work.
Totally agree.
I agree with that too. I believe you should.
Yeah, I totally
I'm not gonna say you should try to make it work as far as the relationship aspect, but you should definitely try to make it work as far as having a
Co-parenting.
a
That's what I'm
conducive
saying.
co-parenting relationship. Yes,
But
absolutely.
whenever they feel like it, though, right?
No, it should be
No,
always.
I'm saying they talking about we talking about inconsistency. So I just
Right.
want to make sure I understand what y'all.
Not whenever they feel like
Well,
that was just my
we trying
final
to
thought.
get
No, not you.
away from the
Period.
inconsistency.
Okay.
Like we do agree that some fathers are inconsistent, but what we don't agree on is what makes them inconsistent. I
Okay.
think that's where we
Okay,
differ,
okay.
and where we have our own opinions. But I think what he was saying was that even if they are inconsistent, still that little bit of, I guess, interaction is more valuable than having none at all. And I absolutely agree with that
Yeah.
point. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you baby?
I feel like.
Don't act like you ain't know you was next.
I feel like people should not be inconsistent. People should like take care of the fucking task at hand. You had it, you laid down, you knew from fucking comes a baby. Take care of your responsibilities. Flat out. And I feel like bitches shouldn't be bitter, especially not with the stepmoms, because they flat out be fucking disrespectful when a nigga get with another bitch. Flat out. Don't do that.
Don't let her be cuter either.
I'm trying to tell you to be mad because
Beauty
you
is in the eye of
because you
the
cute and
beholder.
you're not fat.
It always
Like,
is.
You're not out of shape. But I feel like just take care of your responsibility, and it wouldn't be bitter girls, women. I'm not bitter, so I'm not gonna say we, but they wouldn't be bitter.
So when you say they wouldn't be bitter, do you mean if the guy stayed with them, they wouldn't
No,
be bitter?
no, because relationships don't last always.
Correct.
Only because you have good sex don't mean that you have good chemistry.
That
Just
part.
because you had good sex when you was drunk and y'all had drunk sex and drunk conversation don't mean that y'all sober selves gonna work out.
So if I come to you with that $700 after we had drunk sex, are you still gonna make me be your baby
me,
daddy?
I come with my plan B. And
Oh! Cause you ain't up for the shit.
you know,
But still, if you stuck your thing up in there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like, you know what, I'll hold mine to this. Go ahead, ma'am, Miss Sean.
I feel like being inconsistent is never the key. You need to communicate and be consistent, and the kids always come first because that's who suffers in the end.
True.
Kids are the most important part.
They are the most important factor in this whole situation. Is the kids.
yeah, they grow up and be
Leave out
grown-ups
your
and then
problems.
They gonna be fucked up grown-ups because they got these parenting issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People make their problems be the kids' problem. And just
Yes.
mess
And
it all
that's
up.
my thing about it. I don't like when the mother will say, well, since you don't want to deal with me, or since you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to talk to my child. First of all, that's not just your child.
Right.
That's our child.
Right.
So I feel like there's a lot of toxicity, if that's the word I want to use, revolving around the whole situation. I don't believe like there's a specific right or wrong answer. I feel like every situation will require everybody to kind of look at that situation and how that plays out. But for me, again, I'll say man to the end.
And what about the grandmothers and the aunties or uncles who want to be in the kid's life and they got to go through the mother
Yeah.
of the kid? Like, I don't like my brothers have bitter kids' moms,
Yeah.
and I refuse to
You
go
ain't
through
gonna-
them. No, I got my own kids.
Because why should you have to go through all the rigmaroles just to
I'm
that's
not.
crazy.
I got my own kids.
But
Fuck
Tim,
the
you said
kids.
something that
No,
made me
no.
think. You said like the kids go through all that stuff and it makes them grow up to be that type. And sometimes it's not. Like everything that I experience is the reason why I love and respect life and want to be in my child's life, even though this is
You
my
one out
nephew
of a
life.
thousand, though.
No,
I want
not
this.
even 1 out of 1,000. But
It's
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying
us
is-
who.
But do you agree that the experiences you had led you to have that type of outlook on the situation?
Yeah.
Right. So when I say what experiences the kids have, I'm not saying good
All of them
or
are
bad.
negative. I
I'm
got
just
you.
saying
I got
no
you.
matter what way you turn out,
Yeah.
it's always because of the experiences you had.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not
Like,
fair.
And the sad thing is that what I would have done, I would have got dragged trying to like please somebody just to be with them, to be in my child's life, because I know how it feels not having that. So
It's not fair to the grandmothers and the other family members because of your bitterness.
True.
Because of what's going on with you and the father
Yeah, I
and the
totally
kid.
agree.
Like, I don't agree with that.
And see, I let them get them.
you let
But
them
it's
get
a
it.
lot
Mama
of-
want them, you come and get them.
It's a lot of family
For
members
real.
that
Yeah,
suffer.
You know, but
Yeah.
if you're on drugs or something like that, you know, it's not right for me to really be, you know, if
I
you're
mean,
not,
right.
especially if you're not, you know, you can be functioning or not, depends on what your level is, because some people don't tolerate
But do
that
you
shit at all.
communicate?
But still.
But
the
what's a
other
drug?
family
Because
members.
marijuana's a
Yeah.
drug, alcohol's a drug, cocaine's a drug, heroin's
I
a
think
drug.
what
A
she
drug
said
is a
on drugs,
drug.
she mean like the fiends. She mean those that would do anything to get the drug, meaning they would leave the kid in the house unattended.
Okay, no, I was asking.
Meaning they would. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was ecstasy, coke. I was just trying to see
Weed
like
is not.
It don't matter what
Whatever
drug it
you're
is.
doing that's
right.
affecting.
Yeah, she
You
just
being-
mean.
for you to be neglectful of the child's life.
Yeah.
Well,
So like
okay,
if he pops
you're
ecstasy
right.
on the weekend, is that okay?
We don't know.
That's
It's
not-
not,
I'm
if it's
asking.
affecting you, then yes, it's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. I mean, if
No, I'm
it-
asking like if the daddy like partied and did a line every blue moon.
If
or
we don't
something.
know that.
I mean,
if
I'm
It's
asking
still-
y'all, would y'all let y'all? I'm
For
just
me,
saying.
If
for
I
me,
don't know
yes.
this-
I would.
For me, yes. Because as long as he's still taking up for the kid, like I do, you know, drugs. So,
What the fuck?
if it's affecting your daily,
Yeah, if it's making you incoherent.
Function.
and all
yeah,
these
if
other
it's
things,
affecting your
like-
ability
and
to,
I got note of it,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm gonna protect my kids.
Exactly. I hope you would. That's what I'm asking. I was
But
just
I
trying
don't
to
feel
see.
like that's in the same realm of inconsistency though. Like you
It's
just was
How
high
but
this
the drug
weekend.
makes them
What you do in
inconsistent.
your personal
But
life?
drugs do make them
I,
inconsistent.
Let that be your
in my
personal life.
eye,
Right,
anything
'cause
that makes
what
you
if-
neglectful,
I
I don't
should
care
know
if
about
some
What if they
if-
was a nympho? Would you like hold them accountable?
How would we
I
know?
would.
What you do in your personal
No,
time is your
because
personal
yeah, you
time.
can have sex in your room, but if y'all having swinger parties and my child is getting up to go use the bathroom at 1 o'clock in the morning and he's seeing dicks and pussies, that's inappropriate.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to stay at home this weekend.
Right.
And so I get the protection
Is that
part
what
of
y'all
it.
be doing?
It's
No.
what?
No, not dicks and pussies. So I definitely understand.
Oh my God.
What is it then?
I completely understand the part of
Protection.
the protection. I completely understand that.
In
But
that aspect.
but in that aspect, like if this nigga, you know, snort a line and all of a sudden he wanna knock kids against the wall, absolutely protect your kids.
Right.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is just because he may not pick them up every weekend or just because he
It's communication. You
like
gotta
it's so many levels to it that it's hard for, but again, when it all boils down, just because you and him don't get along, don't make him not see the kid. Like just
Right.
because he don't want to come over a couple hours early on Friday and bang you out before he take the kids for the weekend, don't keep him away from the kids from there.
Right. Making it
Just because
That's
he didn't,
fairness.
yeah,
That's-
just
that's
because
good.
he got a new girlfriend and you and the new girlfriend don't get along, don't keep him away from the
Right.
kids.
I agree.
Don't create the inconsistency and then complain about it.
Right.
Like that's my issue. People who create their own storms then cry because it's raining. No,
Right.
no. I'm sorry. I
Make it
just
be
get
about
you.
the kids.
You don't get to
Oh yeah, I am sorry.
I'm sorry. Go
People
ahead.
don't be making it about the kids. That's what it is.
Well,
Final
you know, I think I've said enough during this entire time.
That's not the case.
But,
That's what you know. Spencer must.
That's Darren. Is it Darren?
No, that's probably Midori actually.
Oh.
Is this the part where I shut something
What
out?
you want to do?
No, but seriously, I think that there are different levels to inconsistent fathers. Yes, I do think fathers should be around. I've always allowed them to be around inconsistently. But now that I see my almost 19-year-old cry because I allowed him to do that, she wishes that I would have never, and I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
She wishes that I would have never allowed it because now,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but allow the inconsistency or
you know
allow
how
him
he
to
was
be
in
around at
jail?
all.
Okay, you know how he was in jail and stuff during her birthday time? Okay, that meant something to her. But then other times he might come and bring her a necklace or something, you know, or come around whenever he wanted. Or she'll go over there. I never, you know, money wasn't the issue. I always let her go over to her people's house, period. Spend a night, whatever. It never been like, no, ever. So she wishes that she would have never even had, like, tried to. She used to kind of like make herself believe that it gotta be like he gonna do better, you know, like seriously.
I mean, because when you were a child, you
like on Holiday Heart, like in her
yeah.
head, her mama was gonna do better. Like she really did think
when I
her
say
mama
in her
was gonna
mind,
do better. And I'm saying that's a great example. You know
that
what I'm
is,
saying?
yeah,
You know, you sitting there and you really because you want that so bad,
right?
you know. And then when he was on the news, front page. She bust out crying. She was like, he got my face. Like, my name is similar to his name. You are on the breaking news. Are you serious?
I bet that hurt.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know, and I can't tell her how to feel. But I never tell her she couldn't go over there. I never said they couldn't pick her up. None of that. She was the first grandchild. You know, but now she's about to be 19 years old and she despises me for that, and I feel bad for it.
Despises you for
But
which
she
part, though?
loved me because she know I did, you know, made it happen and all of that. But I don't know if she's upset when she says it, but she's serious about she wished that I would have never just
Even
allowed him to come in
at all.
I never asked her, you know, because I didn't really know what to say. It was kind of like, you know, how somebody asked you where a Bible verse fit just because you said it yesterday. I don't know exactly in Corinthians where it went. You know what I'm saying? For real, like give me a second. But she told me that's you know that's how she feel. Crying and everything, and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I allowed him to do that, and she demands consistency. She had 2 boyfriends that I know of. She demands it. If you don't be consistent, it's over. And I'm not trying to pump her up or nothing like that. She don't play that. I can't say the same for myself. But she's 18 years old and she don't play that. If you say you're gonna do something and then you don't do it, she will not talk to you no more, friend or her. But that's a good thing because. From him, she says she's not ever
She's
taking
creating
it no
her
more.
own protection.
She's not taking it no more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I feel bad. That's just me feeling bad because I'm like, damn, you know, I thought I was doing the right thing because you know they preach. Don't keep him away. Don't keep him away. But you're just doing what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it. You know, like for real. I'm just saying.
I don't know
in my situation, in your humble opinion, in my situation. I'm being personal. I'm not talking general. I'm talking personal.
She got him.
She did.
I'm talking personal.
You are.
This is a very personal situation. That's the reason. Now it is other situations where it's different, but in my situation.
But in your situation, right. But and I think even I commented on the stat when it first came out.
She with them right now. But I'm just saying I don't keep nobody away from nobody. Literally with them right now.
But to speak to that point, I think when I even originally commented on the stat, I said that I would have an issue with my mama if she kept me away from him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more of a male perspective. I think that's more of a male perspective because, again, we want to know where we came from. We want to imagine that our father is, you know, that nigga. So for us not to know him, we always yearn for that.
But go on over there with your auntie and your grandma now. Just because you can't be around here, that's where you came from.
I probably would.
You came from them.
No,
I'm not saying keep them away. But if they want to be active and he doesn't, go on over there with your people.
But it's not the same though.
It's
like
not the
I
same,
don't know
but
if it would have been right. If it would have been a choice between, you know, my daddy is in jail locked up, but my auntie want to see me. I don't know if I would have been wanting to see my auntie. Me personally.
You want to see somebody that looks like him.
I need to identify with him because I want to know, again, where I come from. I want to know what I can look forward to being. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I can only speak for me. But like I said, I grew up with a male father figure. He was a great role model. So, you know, I'm okay. But, but at the same time, I have always wondered what would have happened if I would have had a more direct influence from my father. You know, like I said, now that I've grown up and I kind of know the nigga a little bit, he cool, but I still don't know. Right. You know, I mean, of course I still would have liked boys, obviously, but I still just, I don't know. There's always that part that I always wonder.
I wonder would it have been different if my daddy was more active.
Yeah, because you never know.
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't have settled for the stuff that I settled from men.
You might not have.
Yeah.
Right.
If my daddy was more.
You may not have. You
Present.
never
Well, I
know.
feel like I'll still be the same.
Yes, the same.
I probably
You ain't lose nothing. You ain't nothing to gain. You
I feel
just
like I'll be
the
I
same.
think I would have been. I would have had a wife and a beautiful wife because my father's a ladies' man. And he always pushed me for women. And like we go to the store when I was young, he'd embarrass
So
me.
you wouldn't have been
He'd
gay.
go to the cutest girl too. Like my father, he'd be like, "My son thinks you're nice looking," and I'd be like, "Dad, stop!" I'd be so. We was little though, like little.
Wait, so he's saying so you wouldn't have been gay?
I don't know. I'm just saying like my father would have like,
Cause Brokeback
You
Mountain.
think, oh,
"You
my
silly."
God.
That's
Brokeback Mountain.
hilarious.
I don't know because I feel like
I'm
this
not
opens
saying
up
I
a
wouldn't have
new
been gay. I'm just saying my
conversation.
father would have like
You
my
think you
father.
would've been gay?
My father possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say I wouldn't be gay. I just know how my father was. My father always pushed the girls around us.
I like what
He's
I
a
like.
ladies' man though.
I know
I
men
choose,
like that.
I choose to live an open lifestyle.
I like that.
Why is
I
it
like open people.
It's just your choice.
It's not a choice.
Okay.
It is a
So,
choice.
It's not
but
a choice. If
it's-
that's the case, your nigga wake up every day if he want to be with you or with me.
You like
It's a choice because it's
I
I'm
don't
not
choose.
talking
sure.
about
I don't
action
choose.
wise.
I don't choose
It's not a
if I
choice.
like boys or girls.
I like what I like.
But when I say choice,
Okay.
meaning you're acting on what you want to do.
I act on what you act on what you like because you like it. It's not
By
a choice.
choice.
No, it's natural. It's instinct.
That's not
It's
a
an
choice.
instinct drive.
So if you was to choose,
It's not
what
a
would you
choice.
choose?
I would
If that's the
choose
case, I
girls.
want to be with you.
Look, who the fuck
I
would want to
swear.
choose? Who wouldn't choose
Why wouldn't
When
I
I, when I say choice, I'm talking about what you're acting on.
That's what you,
But you can't say choose and then you can't say acting. Those are two different.
It's not a
subjects.
choice.
Yeah,
But
it's not
choice
the
is
same.
meaning
Well,
you
you
have
can't
this
say
way
an
or this
open
way.
mind.
I'm choosing this way.
No, but for me,
When
it's
I choose
not a
something,
choice.
I choose white or
If-
wheat with my toast.
Right, like I
That's a
choose.
choice.
I choose motherfucking choosy bread
Choose what you
or
like.
Italian bread. Like those are choices. When it
What I'm
comes to
attracted
sexuality,
to, what I'm attracted
there is
to
no
has
choice.
nothing to do.
It
Yeah, no, it's
is.
not.
I choose that I like dick over pussy.
But I'm
No,
saying,
you
if I
don't.
can't
Yes,
get
I
hard,
do.
listen. If I
Yes,
can't
I
get
do.
hard,
You don't choose
I don't
that.
choose my dick to
Yes,
get
I
hard
do.
with a guy,
Right.
and it can't get hard with a woman because I'd rather it get hard with you, like it does with when I'm with a guy. I'd rather be
Oh
with you because
my
of
God.
the world's views and the stuff
Society.
I'm going
Right,
through.
exactly. Like I
So
would,
that's
I
not,
would
it's not a
rather
choice.
conform to society.
I don't understand that. It's
like
not a choice.
I would.
So why not choose it?
When I think of choice, I think of action wise.
because it's not me. Yes.
Not
Okay.
living
Okay.
is true.
Okay. Listen, I could pretend to be straight.
That's
that's
Brokeback
painful.
Mountain. That's
I
Brokeback
could
Mountain.
get a girlfriend. And I probably could string the bitch along for a little while because girls are gullible. So I probably could.
Wait, wait, wait.
I could probably.
Wait a
I-
minute.
No, they
Girls are what?
Gullible.
they'll let you.
So I probably could string her on for a long while.
Hey, you guys, because
I'm sure I
am
could.
not an inconsistent
but
father.
it wouldn't be me.
I have to go.
That
because
would be
I'm
me
being
living
paid
a
an
lie.
hour ago to come.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. Okay, so thanks so much everybody for joining us. That wraps up our show. Thanks so much to the ladies of Let's Talk for joining us, and also my good friend San Juan. And until next time, stay tuned.
And
Please
go
and
on
bye.
Facebook and Let's Talk.
Yes.
LET.
Add it all. Add it all. I'll make sure all the socials get
TAL.
posted.
She
Thank
got
you
the
guys
best
very
cookies
much.
in the state.
They are really good cookies. You saw me
They
just,
are really
well, y'all
good
didn't see, but you will see me bash several of them motherfuckers. Thank you guys so very much.
Okay.